Now, if you think about it, doing a lot walk at your dealership is something that dealerships have done for 100 years. Ever since there was cars and customers floating through the lot, we know how to do our virtual or our physical lot walk. Touching cars, making sure they're straightened up, not dirty, not out of line. We make sure we're meeting and greeting customers and so forth. But you got to do a virtual lot walk, a virtual lot walk, meaning, how's your inventory online? How's your inventory moving and turning and getting leads or not getting leads? And then those leads, are they getting handled? The problem is we got two different silos happening. We have a CRM that doesn't talk cars and an inventory management tool that doesn't talk leads or the fact that people aren't access to that inventory management tool. So a little pitch here. I mean, Lotpop created a virtual lot walk tool. We combine both your inventory and your lead management, your CRM data and your inventory management into one tool. We're not here to replace either one of them, but I want to show you how you should be doing what we call a virtual lot walk. So I am going to share my screen here. And let me do that right now. And let's go ahead and share the screen. Now, what you should be able to see here on the left is a dealer's 2-week sale volume, because we need to make sure we're getting our month closed out strong. And you can see here in a 2-week window, or the last 15 days, this dealership sold 53 units in 2-week window. That means they're going to sell 106 with 102 in stock. So that number, they're actually moving their inventory well. But there's the red flag. This is the lot walk that you want to do. Look at what you have in inventory age bucket. So you can see here, this dealer, it's a live dealer. They have 27 units sitting 31 to 45, only 3 cars aged. So with that knowledge, now I need to know, is that a good or bad thing? And if you look at the graph, that's that yellow line here. And that unit count hasn't been increasing over the last couple weeks. So the next step is to figure out, again, as you're doing a virtual lot walk, how's the inventory turning? And if you notice, over the last 15 days, this dealership's only sold 9 units out of that bucket. If they stay at this pace in a month, they're only going to sell 18 units out of the bucket that has 27 units sitting in it. So they're 9 units off pace. So again, that should be a red flag for an issue. So what we do then is this: isolate these cars. This is called what we call work the facts. These are the factual stats I got in our book. Just go to workthefacts.com. These are stats that you could do yourself. I'm just showing you through our software how we've solved that on a daily basis, but you could do this metrics yourself. Find a problem. We're not selling enough 31 to 45. Find the cars in that situation. Here they are. And I do a little bit of a red flag on what cars may be causing those problems. Examples would be, I'll give you 2 examples. This particular car here, we call it work the fact score. I'm not giving you a demo. I'm just going to show you real quick things that I'm going to think about. One is it a high average investment. It's about $5,000 higher than their current average investment. For 2021s, they're a little bit heavy in 2021s on this dealer lot. Makes, for example, Toyotas, they're a little bit heavy in Toyotas on their lot compared to their 2-week sales cycle. They're a little bit heavy in vehicles in the same price point. It's in an age bucket they're not selling enough of. They haven't had a lead in 7 days. It's a little mildly at 22,000 miles per year. It's exceeded a 45-day window. I mean, it's already 45 days old. Red flag there. It's exceeding our holding cost goals. But really, big news here is they happen to have 4 leads they haven't contacted in at least 3 days. So this car has a lot going against it. Once I figure that out, is it a pricing problem? And looking at historical information, again, how this dealership sells cars, they've sold 8 Toyotas over the last 60 days, and they sold around 20 days at 98%. Now, remember, this is a 45-day-old car priced at about 100% of market. Tacomas leave their lot at 38 days at 94%. Small pickup trucks, basically similar vehicles based on miles per year, price points, and so forth. It would be leaving their lot around 41 days at 97%. So we might be a little high being 45 days old, still at 100% of market. But here's the challenge. Before I adjust any pricing, do I have people on this car? And if you look, there's 4 active leads. That's the green here. A 12-day-old lead, but we haven't contacted in 11 days. 13-day-old lead, we haven't contacted in 4 days. A 21-day-old lead, we haven't contacted in 7 days. A 28-day-old lead, we haven't contacted in 7 days. So basically, if I'm doing a virtual lot walk, I got a problem in my 31 to 45. This car has a lot going against it based on what's happening on my lot. And then I happen to It might be a pricing problem, but it's not a pricing problem if I have active leads on this car. This is a follow-up problem. So let's follow up with these leads first before we do anything else on this car. So again, I wouldn't adjust the pricing on this. I would immediately, these are ups floating around your virtual lot that no one's taking care of. You can say the same thing about this 18 RAV4. This is another vehicle in this bucket. I can see it's 104% of market. So it seems pretty high. But also, we haven't changed the price since the 20th. We're heavy in this price point. We're heavy in this make. It's an age bucket we're not selling enough out of. We haven't had a lead in 7 days. It's a little miley at 19,000 miles per year. And we happen to have 2 leads we haven't contacted in 3 days. And again, we're at 104%, and that price is in the red because it's higher than, again, what we predicted. They sold 2 RAV4s at 94% of market. We'll sell at 104. Or they happen to sell another 18 Toyota RAV4 off this lot, and it took 93% price to market. So we're still priced high. But again, we go to the leads. There's an 11-day-old we haven't contacted in 4 days. 18-day-old lead we haven't contacted in 5 days. So I found a problem. I found cars causing the problem based on their lot. And then we have customers floating around on this car that no one's helping. And this is what I'm talking about when I mentioned talking about doing a virtual lot walk. We do a physical lot walk. We would not allow a customer to go 10, 15 minutes on our showroom floor without being helped. But we just as upset about 11, 12, 14-day gaps in contact ratio on leads. When I'm not selling enough out of my 31 to 45 bucket right now, like this dealer, is it a pricing problem? It doesn't look like in the last 2 vehicles. There's 6 customers, 4 in the truck, 2 or 3 on this RAV4 that no one's following up with. This is a people problem. Now, meaning we have people on these cars, no one's helping, but the people in my dealership aren't doing the job. And so this goes back into maybe managing leads based on situations on the lot instead of the age of the lead. So here's the other problem with CRMs is they typically want you to follow up with the fresh leads consistently, but as that lead gets older, we change the gap frequency. A 20-day-old lead, we're probably only set up to call once a week. You might have some text messages and automated emails going out, but that isn't really following up with the customer. We need to touch them in all different ways, that however it takes to get a hold of them: text, email, phone calls. Because here, if I'm not selling enough in my 31 to 45 age buckets, I want to increase the contact frequency of all those leads that I have on those vehicles. The problem is, and let me go right back to these vehicles. These vehicles are sitting here, and they happen to have some leads on. I'm gonna share my screen again. Let me go back into sharing the screen. So if I have a problem on this inventory, these cars right here, I can't get the sale rate. I need to increase it. So I need to increase the contact ratio of all these leads on this car, regardless of the age of the lead. So what we've done then is, in a click of a button, here's access to those leads. But again, there's a problem sitting here. Here's a 21-day-old lead. My CRM's probably not telling me to call this customer every day, every other day to get the sale rate up. Matter of fact, we haven't contacted in 18 or 20 days. As there's a 24-day-old lead, a 23-day-old lead, a 28-day-old lead. Those are active leads on this car. Doesn't mean they're dead leads. They're still active in my system. The car's still in stock. I need to be calling and emailing these leads every day, every other day, regardless of the age of the lead. So as a manager, I need to be able to figure out my problems in my inventory. What cars are causing those problems? Is it a car problem or a people problem? But also, as an internet BDC department, we should be managing leads based on situations on my lot, not just based on the age of the lead. So that's what you need to be doing, is looking at a virtual lot walk. You could do this in your CRM. Well, not necessarily. It's hard for you to isolate 31 to 45-day-old leads out of your CRM. But again, you should be really attacking. You can take the cars in that 31 to 45 age bucket. You can then take each stock number, go to your CRM, see if you have leads. But this is what we simplified in our tool. That's why we call it LotWalk. We should be looking at cars and customers, seeing what our problem is between cars and customers, and then attack what I could attack. I could control this situation. I could control, I'm heavy in 31 to 45. I could actively do something about it, and I could actively attack those leads. And as this market's changing, as we may be getting less leads, as our inventory's dropping, as values are starting to drop, and I need to protect profit margins, it's not a race to drop in prices. As we've seen on those 2 cars, they're priced pretty high in the market for the age that they are. But is that a problem? Should they drop the price? Well, not with those active leads that no one's followed up with. Now, if I pulled those cars up and we didn't have leads on them and no switch opportunities, active leads on similar cars that sold that I might be able to switch to this car, if there's really no activity and I'm priced high, well, then I'd make the decision to drop the price. But before I did that, I would pivot to the market data, figure out that problem, but then maybe pivot to market and wholesale data to figure out what I'd want to do on pricing. I wouldn't want to just base my decision on market or MMR data that I can't control. It's data I want and I need, but I need to figure out what's going on first with my lot, figure out if it's what vehicle's causing the problem. Is it a pricing problem or a people problem? And right now, again, an example of this little tip, this happens to be a people problem. Follow up with the leads that you have on these cars and increase the contact ratio of those leads, regardless of the age of lead. Hope this tip was helpful. Stay tuned. I'll give you some more tips on how to do a virtual lot walk and stay on top of both inventory and leads in this changing market.